Hey, and welcome to my new Raptors My GM. I know I did one of these with the Nets and didn't really stick to it, but I think part of that was that I just don't really find 2K a lot of fun anymore. And as much as I like my GMs, they're kind of hard to do like actual ones. But I want to do a Raptors My GM because they're a team that I think sooner rather than later can start actually trying to be good at basketball. And I also am going to start using this system that's called the random event generator made by ATD or at the deadline. I'll hopefully remember to link their Patreon down below, but they do some really cool stuff and they make my leagues way more fun. So this episode is mainly going to be me just kind of simming through the rest of the regular season because as you can tell, we're not really contending for a playoff spot. We're certainly not like out of the contention, but I'd be okay with us just kind of treating this season as a wash, just being over with it. And so today's video, we're just going to mainly get through the season, start the off season, and kind of decide the direction for this team. And look at this roster. The big direction for this team, of course, is build around Scotty Barnes. And I like a lot of what we got in the Knicks trade when we trade OG Anunoby. I don't necessarily love what we got in the Pascal Siakam trade or us trading our first round pick this year for Kelly Olynyk. I do actually like Ochai Agbaji a lot, and I will be, let me actually right now, I will be playing him more, I guess, no. But I think we have a decent team. I like Emmanuel Quickly. I like RJ Barrett. I really want to build around Scotty. And I think as soon as next season, we could be fighting for a playoff spot. And my goal is I don't ever want to be rebuilding. This season, I'm just going to sim through because it's just going to be like a tanked season, even though we don't have our pick. But that's my goal is I don't ever want to be just throwing in the towel during the season. I want to be fighting for a playoff spot. Yeah, we're mainly just going to make it through this season. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually head over to the random event generator right here. And we're going to just randomly generate an event. So some of these events, like for example, one that it already has pulled up that I'm not going to do, but gone too soon, draw players forced to retire due to medical problems, make him 45 years old, decrease all his attributes to 25, and release him. It can get pretty intense. There's also, you can only do these every so often for some of them. So I have a list here that I'm going to, let me do this. We're going to mark each event and we're going to check like when did this happen. So the 2023-24 season, here's our first event is going to be, if I can get over here, bad medical staff. Increase the injury duration of an injured player by 15 days. Okay. A team number is 18, which is the Grizzlies are going to be more injured. I didn't even show Desmond Bane. I bumped his injury up 15 days, so the Grizzlies are probably just firmly taking this season. They're firmly going to get something good. I'm going to make some moves for other teams, by the way. I have trade approval. I have Sim Gaming Network's My League settings on. I'm the GM of the Raptors, but I'm going to make sure that teams are acting logically. But I'm actually kind of disappointed that was our first one. And that was what, number 5? Yeah. I guess it's kind of realistic for him. We're going to do one more. We're going to do 0. Change of scenarios. Team is sold. The new president fires the GM or the head coach. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And we're going to put in a team. The Pacers. The Pacers are going to fire their head coach or their GM. Okay, wow, yeah. Let's go, I guess, team selection. What is this, year 2? Oh, I did not mean to deselect the Raptors. Let me reselect them so they remember that I'm the GM of that too. Year 2, I think, or year 3 of Rick Carlisle is the head coach. They're the 6th seed. They're having a great season. And the Pacers decide it's time to move forward. Yeah, he's on a 4-year deal. Wow, this is awful. But yeah, so the Pacers are going to fire Rick Carlisle, and I want to find him somebody who I think would fit. with them. I don't think Mike Stauffer would because he's pace and space. I'll have them sign him on a 2-year deal. And the Pacers now have a new head coach. Let's see, what's he change about the rotation? Anybody hitting the bench? Seems like he's actually using the bench less, but okay, yeah. So that's our first real event. Let's just make it through this season real quick. So real quick, there's actually the contract extension deadline. Kelly Olynyk is. We can re-sign Kelly Olynyk and Gary Trent Jr. Kind of want to get those both out of the way now. Kelly Olynyk is asking for a whole lot of nothing. This seems like crazy low even for him. I'm gonna offer him more than I think he actually deserves. Or not more than I think he actually deserves, more than 2K thinks he actually deserves, because I want to try and get somewhat realistic. And so I'm gonna give him $5 million a year for 3 years, and then for Gary Trent Jr., I'm gonna throw him $9 million a year, or you know, we'll throw him $8.5 million a year over 3 years. And I think those are all the players we can re-sign. So that's pretty good. All right, so we're at the playoffs. Luka Doncic MVP, Victor Wembanyama Rookie of the Year, Russell Westbrook 6th Man of the Year, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player of the Year. Listen, I gotta give it to the actual D-Boy. Rudy Gobert D-Boy, Jalen Johnson Most Improved. All right, I like that. Nikola Jokic Clutch Player of the Year, and Joe Mazzulla Coach of the Year. And we're gonna insert 0 real quick, or we're gonna insert 1 so we get a new scenario. Fight the player that that first one looked more interesting. That first one I was gonna get back to. Clean sweep. Select the next series that has to start and force a 4-0 win for the team with the best record. Okay. Is there a way to look at daily view? Who's up next? You know what? I'm gonna be honest. The most likely one here is here. Let me mark this. Playoffs 15. And now that I'm looking at this, the most likely one to me is the Chicago Bulls. I'm a Bulls fan. Hate to say it. It's unlikely we're even here, so I'm gonna have them get swept in 4, and then we're just gonna make it through the playoffs. I don't even know if I need to force wins, but I'm gonna do it regardless. The Knicks are getting swept down. Oh, whoops. The Knicks are getting swept down there. I'm seeing. Yikes. Yeah, Knicks get swept. Bucks get swept by the Hawks. Pelicans sweep the Wolves. Let's look at round 1. All right. Nuggets beat the Lakers at 7. Dallas beats OKC at 5. Clippers beat the Suns at 5. Cleveland beats Orlando. All right, let's go through this round. Denver versus the Clippers. Boston loses to Philly. Is this Philly's year? Cleveland is at the conference finals. Philly versus Denver. Jokic versus Embiid, NBA Finals. Oh wait. No, Jokic won Finals MVP, or Western Conference Finals MVP, and they didn't make the finals. Okay, so Clippers versus Sixers. I've watched actually a lot of 2K series this year, and it seems like this is the most likely first round matchup every year. And yep, this is exactly how it goes. Without fail, Clippers win. Draft lottery. Our pick is going to Indiana, and that pick is going to be 12. Okay. All right, now we're at the coaching carousel. I'm kind of okay with letting go of not Mike Stoffer. Darko Radkovic. I don't think he's the best coach in 2K. I like him in real life. I like that rant of his, but I'm just thinking maybe we might do a coaching change. But before we get into that, let's get to the coaching carousel, which we're going to do 1. Not scouting well. Draw a team. Decrease the scouting grade of the scout by 2 points. Example, from B+ to B-. The team is the Celtics. All right. Kind of a useless change for the Celtics, but that happened. So I'm gonna choose them on 2K. But I'm also gonna do one more event because I think this could be a bit more interesting. Preview trades, draw a team, increase the trade grade of the GM by 2 points. And this team will be the Wizards. The Wizards are going to get better at trading. All right, and so we're going to go back over to 2K. All right, Wizards and Celtics are getting changes. Celtics are getting worse. Wizards are getting better. The league is balancing itself out naturally, it seems. All right, we'll get to that later. But as of right now, we're going to focus on ourselves. And I'm thinking, yeah, we want to change up the head coach. I really like the idea of us running a like spaced out offense. And I also am kind of okay with a pace and space. I know Mike Stoffer is just genuinely the best available, but I'm pretty okay with that. We could also try and steal James Borrego from the Hornets, or from the Pelicans. And he's a perimeter centric, but he's not really going to get a lot better. Stoffer just kind of feels dumb because he's guaranteed good. Mel McMillian, Otis Dubin. I'm looking at like a young coach. You know what? We're going to take a chance on this Wesley Dean guy. So we're going to offer Wesley Dean a 2-year contract. And there's no way he says no. So yeah, we got new coach in Wesley Dean. And we're going to make it to the draft. I'm looking at the draft, and there's not anybody who I particularly want that I think we can realistically get looking at this. Most likely, though, I'm going to move... we do have this Pacers pick. We do have this Pacers pick, which is number 12. The Pacers... Oh, yeah, I never even checked on that. Let's take a quick look. The Pacers fell off hard after firing Rick Carlisle. I hated to do it, but I did hurt their roster. They gave us the 12th pick because of that. So yeah, we're gonna get to the draft and we're gonna actually see if I can get Bronny James or just somebody who I'm comfortable with as a shooter. Smith. I don't watch actually a ton of college basketball, so I'm not gonna know any of these. Oh my gosh, the Suns will trade Bradley Beal for Paul Reed in a future first-round pick. The Suns were a first-round upset this year, but I don't see them going for youth as the response to that. The Sixers get Ron Holland. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I said no to that. And we're up with the 12th pick. Let's see what we're getting offered. Paul Reed in a second. Brooke Lopez. No. Craig Porter Jr., Zaire Williams, Grant Williams, John Collins, Davian Mitchell, Mitchell Robinson, Jet Howard and Moritz Wagner for a future first as well. No, we don't need another big. We do need another big without that. Ben Simmons. No, as fun as it might be to save Ben Simmons, I think Scotty Barnes is going to fill a pretty similar role to that. I don't see the Pelicans doing this as much as I love the idea of acquiring Trey Murphy III and Jordan Hawkins. I'm looking at this, and I just don't think it's realistic. I don't know why they would value Trey Murphy so low. To be fair, if they're not going to trade Brandon Ingram, I don't see the point in keeping this many forwards around, especially because Dyson Daniels is able to move up. Larry Nance Jr. could go down. I think I need to offer them a bit more, and I think it would be this second-round pick as well. But, yeah, I really like this. So I'm going to give them a little more, and the Pelicans are going to get the 12th pick. Or those like Cody Williams, another forward, but he can actually play the 2, and that's a really good fit. I actually kind of wish I got him. If we don't have a pick anymore, so I'm going to just make it through the draft. But I'm actually really happy with that. We walked out of the draft with 2 players I like. A young guy I really like he was essentially the 12th pick last year, and Trey Murphy. That's why I kind of felt like we were robbing him. Do I want to pick up the team option on Bruce Brown? I think we can move him for more. And I think that's kind of what I'm banking on here if I pick up his team option. And so I'm going to pick up Bruce Brown. Paul George declines his player option, which doesn't really make sense to me. LeBron does, which makes sense. D'Angelo Russell does, which doesn't make sense because I don't think he's going to get that money anywhere else. Jalen Duren, they declined the team option. What are they cooking over in Detroit? I'm going to offer real quick, a bag. I'm going to offer him about $12 million for 4 years. I really like the idea of keeping Quickly around as a starting guard. as one of our key rotational players at minimum. And yeah, we're going to throw him a bag and sign him to that. No, but they signed LeBron James and DeAndre Jordan. Okay. Did they sign Bronny James? No. All right. I'm probably going to, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to change this off camera. I'm thinking I will probably have LeBron go either where Bronny James is, back to the Lakers, or another contender I deem fit. But I'm telling you right now, that's probably not going to be how this ends with him there. So, yeah, we're just looking at player progression. Scotty Barnes got better. The only player who got worse, it seems, is Kelly Olynyk, which is fine. He's a rotational player on a pretty solid contract for us. So, yeah, we're fine with that. And, yeah, we're going to make it to the next season. I'm just going to quickly simulate through. And I'm just going to quickly establish now what I think our team's going to look like this year. So, as far as untouchables, I'm not trading Scotty Barnes. I have no intention to trade Scotty Barnes. I am following the Masai Ujiri path. We're holding on to Scotty Barnes no matter what. As far as I want to trade, I want to get Bruce Brown out of here. Bruce Brown. I want to get Gary Trent Jr. out of here. And I'm not going to put RJ Barrett on here, but I'm open to the idea of trading RJ Barrett. As far as players I want, that I'm going to have to think about. I think as of now, that's where I'm going to end the video. Yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next episode with an actual game and some trades. So peace.